it makes all the sense in the world that he's at Auburn now. I don't think I can prove it because I basically purged my old Twitter account. I post more on Blue Sky now, but I was sending sarcastic but not at all kidding tweets that Jackson Arnold should just stay in Auburn after the interception touchdown game for Oklahoma last year. Like I think Hawkins was playing at that point for
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Arnold should have just stayed. Like it was obvious that this was a match. Um, I'm not the world's number one Hugh Freeze guy, as I've probably tipped on this show before, but Hugh Freeze could do some good things with Jackson Arnold. Some very good things.
Why didn't it work at Oklahoma in your mind for Jackson Arnold?
Two things for sure, and maybe a third thing. Thing number one, offensive line, terrible.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, going back to his last year, they're under recruited high school players at that line. And then I felt like Oklahoma never figured out whether it was rebuilding with the portal or trying to build from within and get back to those Bill Beatonbaugh, Joe Moore award winning offensive lines of like the middle of Lincoln Riley's tenure. So bad offensive line. Oklahoma's wide receiver room last year was basically a hospital wing.
Yep.
It was all of them, like five at a time, even six maybe at one point. They were all hurt. Not only like were some guys underachieving when they played, but they were just all hurt.
Yep.
Some of them for basically the entire season, including some guys who, if you looked at them before the season, you would have thought, oh, like that's going to be a breakout. Like Jaden Gibson for Oklahoma last year was supposed to be the big breakout guy, and it just didn't happen. He just didn't play. So that the health wasn't good, the offensive line wasn't good, and then it is possible that Jackson Arnold's just not that good. But I'm not prepared to say that for sure yet. Like
Sure.
he could have just been a misevaluation who's not that good. Eh, He certainly did not make lemonade with his lemons that he was given last year. But stranger things have happened than a guy like Freeze figuring out how to get more out of a guy who basically everyone agreed was like a consensus, really solid five-star quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And who, when he came on in a more competent Oklahoma offense under Jeff Lebby the year before, instead of the doomed Seth Luttrell last year, looked pretty good, like in relief of Dylan Gabriel in garbage time and mop up duty.
A local guy led Oklahoma in receptions and yards last year. Bauer Sharp, who was
Yeah.
Dothan's quarterback
Yep.
Yep.
a couple of years ago and tight end for
It was
for Oklahoma.
It was
But yeah.
bleak. And you made that good point though about Oklahoma's offensive line because I was thinking about this the other day. You know, talking about like where good offensive linemen come from, and there was like this stretch, I guess in the mid 2010s where you saw a lot of like your All Pro and Pro Bowl offensive linemen were like from anywhere. Like you would get group of five guys, you would get it was just a random assortment. And then Oklahoma went on a heater. Like had some dudes
Yeah.
that became like elite offensive linemen in the obviously Notre Dame's got that rep and others as well, Iowa. But like yeah, it's kind of wild to think like Oklahoma just stopped doing that considering,
Yeah,
how
and
offensive focused they were.
I don't know exactly what happened because it's the same offensive line coach who's a legend
Yeah.
of the industry.
Well,
Like-
like when Gus Malzahn, when a huge reason why Gus Malzahn didn't work out at Auburn long term, or at least towards the end, in the end of his demise, was basically like the offensive line had just cratered, and it wasn't like Auburn had produced like elite offensive lines in the past. I mean, they Braden Smith, Jack Driscoll, they had some guys make it to the league, and they had some good, especially early on in his tenure, had some good run block in fronts, but like that was kind of the beginning